Did I get cancelled? What? What's happening? What's happening? What? Oh shit. There's something wrong here? Is it my stream? Happening. This is my... I'm here nervous. It's just black for me. Okay. Looked to me like I died, but it might just be my Chrome that died. Stream was... It looked to me like I got cancelled. I was talking about weird isekais, you know, so I got afraid that I got like cancelled or something because of my line. Sorry. I genuinely thought I got... My god, that gave me like a heart attack. I genuinely thought that I might have been like, you know, like, oh shoot, did the stream get like, you know, cancelled because I was mentioning these weird isekais, right? That's why I didn't show them. I got that randomly kicked, man. Like I genuinely thought that, you know, that I had gotten like a strike or something during the stream. You never know when you get into an issue, right? It's so frustrating. So, hello everyone, there was a cut out of my stream because I had like almost an anxiety panic attack right during the stream because I'm gonna explain it more here and then I'll show you the rest of the stream or whatever. You can links below for the full stream, but I'm not cut it out here. But I just want to talk about it again, yeah, speaking right. It is very, very frustrating being a YouTuber. It's a lot of high anxiety, right? So what happened during that stream, and again, you know, I'm gonna show you a clip of it later on. You can see the full clip here, but it's just like a massive anxiety thing because sometimes you get a strike, right? Sometimes you get like cancelled, right? Sometimes you get banned. It's just like you never know, right, with these companies. And it's not just for a YouTube thing. It's also for Twitch, it's for TikTok, whatever, Twitter, and so on. And that kind of moment on the stream was like a perfect example where I was felt like frozen time in my heart or whatever, because what happened was that I was streaming, right, and I was gonna go and read some isekais. I mean, just like talking about the premise, and I knew it was like, okay, this might be like a naughty topic, right, because it's like, is this what is the weird isekai that exists, right? So I just showed myself and nothing of the isekai, so I just be like, but I still was mentioning, oh, here's an isekai about this thing, yeah, that's kind of naughty, you know what I mean, that's kind of weird. And then my PC froze, right? My Chrome froze, my browser froze, so on, and I couldn't log in to like my Gmail account or whatever. I couldn't log into the stream again, so I couldn't see the stream. It actually was recording me, right? So it's actually the stream was working because it was recording me, but from my standpoint, my perspective, it looked like everything froze, and it looked like I was basically, you know, banned from whatever, right? The whole platform, whatever. I don't know. I just couldn't get into anything, right? For like a few moments there, for a few minutes. So of course during that time frame, right, I genuinely thought, as I talked about in the clip and show you guys, that I was, you know, got a strike or something, right? Or even worse during that stream. Now of course it turned out it was nothing, it was just my PC that was breaking thing. But it is honestly a very frustrating thing being a YouTuber, right? So I want to talk about it again here. I did reflect over it during the stream, so that's why I added later this here, but I just want to address it here, right? Because yeah, it is very, very frustrating being a YouTuber, right? You're chasing those likes or views or subscribers or whatever. So please press the subscribe button and so on. If you like this video, please press the button or whatever. Press the like button and so on. But without all that stuff, though, without all the like, views, subscribers, all stuff, right? It is the worst thing really is that you can get a copyright strike for basically anything, right? As I explained in that stream, and I must say it briefly again, I'll talk about more later in the video, is that I once got a strike for doing an anime review where I didn't even show the anime, right? It's crazy. I once got a strike during a stream for a copyright where I just showed like, you know, a 5-second clip or something. Or it was like, it wasn't a clip, it was just an image. It was just like an image, yeah, I just showed an image. And so on, right? So that's why your brain, unfortunately, has this anxiety, right? Because when again, during that stream, it looked like my stream died, right? From my perspective. And in my head, then I am thinking that, oh shit, I got like a strike on the stream, right? Even though I was just showing images, right? I was just showing the list of animes coming next season, right? So the stream was fall anime, which is next season. So I'm showing like Chainsaw Man, Bleach, or whatever, right? But there's just an image of, and it's like, you know, this anime is airing 10th October or whatever, right? Like a date and so on, yeah. So it is clearly fair use. I mean, I'm just like showing a still image of like this anime or promotional art. I mean, if anything, I'm just giving these anime studios and these companies free PR, because I'm talking about it. Yet I have experienced that 2 years ago when I got a strike for that, right? So it is a very, very frustrating, exciting thing. And generally speaking, of course, it is very frustrating being on social media in general, right? Because you never know if you write a tweet and it's a joke, but someone is like reports you because no, that joke was mean, or I'm clearly being sarcastic, but they don't understand or whatever, right? So it is a very, very frustrating thing, right? Being on YouTube or. But again, I don't want to just say YouTube. Now this was a YouTube stream, so that's why I come back to YouTube. But I do feel that this anxiety that you have doing any kind of social or any social media, right? If you're any kind of content creator. So that's why I made the video after the stream here, because yeah, it is very, very frustrating. It is a really high anxiety part, right? I said many times over these few years I had this channel, but some people ask me, do you want to be a YouTuber full time or so on or whatever? Would you go for this thing, whatever, Patreon and so on? And I just never felt no. I have a job, right? And I make a decent salary. See, I will need a lot of more subscribers and views to be able to match the salary, of course. But it's not really about that, right? Because honestly, if I could have the exact same amount of money doing YouTube as I have as my job, I wouldn't quit my job. You know what I mean? I still would quit my job, of course, because I would, double the salary, right? But my point is more that if you told me that I could do one of them, right? You can spend more hours on YouTube or any other social media, right? And you will get the same amount of money as I have going to my job, right? I would still pick going to my job. Now, of course, I do work mostly in the game industry. I also do other IT stuff. Currently, I'm actually an IT US design director, right? So it might be outside the game industry. But to be fair, I have worked for like 15 years on video games. So maybe my job is a little funnier than other people's job are. But still, right? So I still feel like even if I had another more boring job, I would still be like, yeah, I think I would rather go to work. Because I know if I go to work, I get my salary, and they can't just fire me, right? And that's a very, very high anxiety thing, being a YouTuber, right? Because you can get fired at any moment, right? And again, not just YouTube, it can be TikTok or whatever. Yeah, you can get fired at any moment. I would never really rely on that, right? As a stable income, right? That being said, I like doing YouTube. I like talking about anime, manga, and video games. If you see the video here, now the video here is about mental health and anxiety and so on, and being a YouTuber. But on this channel, I primarily talk about Japanese pop culture, right? But I do kind of delve into this stuff, and because I work, as I mentioned, right, with like game design, but also like user design and culture and so on, and I'm a educator, so to speak. I've done research and I have done lectures in different like human behavior. So my expertise is like human behavior economy. So I give lectures in different like personality type, how you deal with this stuff in business and so on. So I'm quite when it comes to this health issues, psychology, right, how to raise children and so on. I've done papers about that. So it kind of comes from my workplace. So I do have, I would say, a lot of knowledge when it comes to like how do you do this thing. And that's also probably, honestly, in a sense, why I do this video, right? Because now I can share my reflection and my thoughts with you guys, right? That because honestly, I felt really bad during that stream. Because after I got back into the stream again, okay, now everything works again, right? And I finished the stream, my heartbeat was like, up to 10,000. I felt like I have a heart attack, during the rest of the stream. That stream was still like an hour afterwards, right? We talk a lot. That stream, yeah, I only was halfway through the stream, right, So I kept doing it, but yeah, I feel really ill afterwards because, yeah, my heart was like that all the time. Still is very high, right? So in a sense, doing this video here right now, a little bit helps with my own mental health issues, right? Because I can reflect and talk about it now, right? But seriously, though, yeah, it is a very, very annoying, painful thing. I know some people I talk to, a lot of other YouTubers, right? They basically are afraid every time they open their Gmail account that they're gonna have a strike, right? You know what I mean? And I can see that too, yeah, because especially if you have 2 strikes, like the system is if you have 3, you're out, you know what I mean? If you got 2 strikes, you'd almost get like, I don't want to make more videos, right? But of course, you can also get a strike for a video you made like 5 years ago, whatever, right? If you've been a YouTuber for many years, you might have videos that have like 10+ years on your channel, right? And suddenly you get 3 strikes for videos you made 11, 12 years ago, right? And so there is a very, very high anxiety, and also that because they can change the rules. So if you compare that to a legal setting, right? If you live in a country right now, in a normal industrial, modern country today, right? and you do something which is not illegal, you do something that is legal, right? Let's say you buy alcohol, right? You drink like a beer, okay? That's legal, right? In like America or whatever. But then they enter a prohibitional state where you can't drink alcohol anymore. Then your buying alcohol today is still, legal, right? Because if you change the law tomorrow, that's tomorrow, right? But unfortunately, or not just on YouTube, but I feel on every social media, they have that issue, right? That basically they can enforce laws backwards in retroactive laws, right? That is something that also gives me a lot of anxiety because, what if someone tells me that, like, I made a video once, when I did this thing, right? And maybe it was edgy, right? Whatever, it was edgy, it was jokingly, it was sarcastic, right? But it was fair and was fine, so to speak, in the current system of rules, right? But unfortunately, on YouTube and other platforms, it really kind of works retroactively, right? So it's like, maybe I should go and remove the video now because they changed the rules, so is that video not okay anymore? Like, that is also something that brings me anxiety, right? Because I have more than one channel, right? I have another channel where I'm, speaking about some other stuff that is not just anime and manga and so on and video games. And on that channel, I tend to feel that, this is kind of risky because I'm doing a joke here with sarcasm that maybe isn't okay in 3 years from now, you know what I mean? But again, if you do that in an actual legal standpoint, you can't be convicted for something that was legal, when you did it in the past, right? Because if you change the law, okay, now you can't buy alcohol anymore, you know what I mean? Yeah, so now you can't do it, right? It'd be very, very weird, right, to punish people for doing stuff that was okay at that time, right? But again, on YouTube and so on, you can actually punish people for doing stuff that were used to be okay. And honestly, it hasn't happened to me, but I've seen a lot of big YouTubers, right, that has lost their channel basically, right? Or maybe all the videos have gotten like demonetized afterwards, right? So maybe they were making money on YouTube, right? They were making good, money on YouTube, and then suddenly YouTube changed the rules, and now they're like 500 videos they have are all demonetized, so they can't make any money anymore. Again, coming back to that, I would rather still stick at having like a normal job, right? Going and working. I work in IT, right? Mostly, so yeah. IT and education, yeah, going to IT, going to like an university, give a lecture or whatever, right? Like that's kind of what I do, right? I much rather do that than having to rely on, suddenly all my videos are gone or whatever, I mean, I will change the rules, or these videos are not gone, but they have no value anymore because you mentioned that word and then the video is gone or it's flagged for that thing or something, right? And again, only it's a YouTube thing, it's all is social media, right? So there is so much anxiety, I feel, from a mental standpoint, because you both have the issue of what can I say now, what can happen, right? And you have bots, right? You have just AI bots that might misunderstand what you're doing, right? You might have an AI bot that doesn't understand a joke or something, you know what I mean? Or it is like it can understand an image or something, right? Even if it's a completely fine image, the bot might be like, oh, that looks like intercourse, but like, no, it's just it's an animal or whatever, yeah. And they might completely misunderstand it, right? Based on the code or whatever. So you got all of those like landmines, right? Because that's an expression I kind of like when I saw someone tweeting about that. Like being a YouTuber is kind of like being on a landmine field, right? You kind of in the middle of a landmine field that is like, where should I go? And it's like, yeah, you can probably survive. You have to walk through a line over there, and it's not that many landmines. It's not like 10 landmines, but you kind of like, damn it, I died. That's kind of how it feels, right? You're stuck in the landmine field, and you can walk any direction. You have to get to the edge to survive, right? And you probably will survive most days, but sometimes randomly you walk into the landmine. It's kind of like you play, Minesweepers, right? You play Minesweeper on the lowest difficulty. That is how I feel YouTube is. If it was on the highest difficulty, no one would ever do YouTube, because then you would die all the time. Yeah, it would be too many landmines, right? But the issue is that you still have that every day. You have that feeling of being on a landmine field, even if it's only like 1% chance you step on a landmine, it can still happen, right? So every day you're like, this day I also survived, right? So that's a feeling, and when I was doing that stream, yeah, it really gave me, I was a heart attack, but it really gave me massive, almost like a panic attack, anxiety attack, right? Because I believe that I stepped on a landmine, right? Because I happened to just go into, reading about really weird isekais, so I turned off the camera, so to speak. I turned off the angle, right, on purpose, just to show myself like now, because I knew that, okay, I'm gonna Google like what is the weirdest isekai that says isekais are fantasy novels that I have on in front of me here. People that go to this video that isekais are, there's an isekai example here. It's a book, right? You read it, it's textbooks which is a light novel. It's Konosuba, sitting behind me there. That's also Konosuba. So very popular. Is my favorite, of course. Then Isekai, but there are a bunch of Mushotenshi, but whatever, Mushotenshi and Konosuba. But my point is that just by googling, okay, I'm gonna Google like what is the weird Isekai that is. Oh, there's one where he's like a legendary this thing, you know what I mean? So I knew that, okay, it's gonna be risky because I'm gonna Google that, but I'm gonna show you what my Google hits are. I'm just gonna be like, weirdest Isekai that exists, right? And just at that moment, again, then my, of course, everything froze, right? So I felt that I had stepped on that landmine, right? That I accidentally was in on a landmine because I was like, shit, I probably shouldn't have said that, even though I really didn't say anything bad. But that's why it's so weird too, because I know that I can't just blurb out, oh, this line or whatever, right? So obviously I purposely said this anime or isekai, an anime is about this thing, right? You know what I mean? I purposely worded it that I believe that it's okay, and evidently it was okay, right? But at that moment, then, because you always have this anxiety, I believed that I stepped on a landmine, right? I believe that I'm on, like I said, I'm on this landmine field, right? And it's 1% chance every day you step on the landmine. And I was like, oh, this was a landmine apparently. God damn it, the stream died, because this I looked at my computer, looked at the stream had been taken down, right? See, I get excited talking about it now, but seriously, it is a very, very high anxiety being on YouTube. It is very, very annoying. I always felt, I've done several channels. I started with a Marvel channel. What's my first channel? I had a gaming channel. I did game reviews like 12, 30 years ago. And I had a Marvel channel, about Spider-Man and Avengers and so on. This was before the movies. It was like 2010 or something. Yeah, I was very early having a Marvel channel. I was reviewing the Marvel comics and so on, right? But it's the same thing there, basically. And I mean, sure. If you make like a YouTube channel where you just talk about stuff, right? You sit alone and talk about, this is my ideas or whatever, right? You probably feel better about it, but still you can get cancelled if saying the wrong words, you know what I mean? But I feel like, I said, right, doing Marvel, doing video games, or DC Comics, doing comics, or doing video games, or doing like anime or manga, whatever. Every time you have a channel that's anything to do with any, of course, copyright, right? You're always feeling like anxiety, right? Because you never know. Some companies are crazy. So it always feels like you're afraid, of course, that you're gonna get like a strike for, even if it's obviously fair use. And so it's always a very, very high anxiety field of place, right? And I said it. I'm gonna, after this thing, I'm gonna show you if you're interested. I will show you the clips right from the stream. We can watch the full stream. But like I said in the stream too, I always felt that if it was safer, I would do so much more content, right? Or better content, probably. Rather that, yeah. Because I always felt that I don't wanna. I mean, I like doing, creative stuff. I will obviously work in the game industry, so I like creative stuff. I like writing stuff. I like, I've been usually the designer, right? So I've been the lead game designer, creative director, and so on, right? Game blah blah blah, and so on. So I usually am the guy, coming up with the design of this, right? So I always like that. And obviously I do get a lot of that, at work anyway, right? But I always felt that I would do more, honestly, better YouTube, right? If I knew that, well, if this video won't ever be taken down, you know what I mean? If I knew this video was safe, right? Oh, you're allowed to, because it's very, very annoying that with copyright, it can easily be abused, right, by the companies, and people can also, of course, fake being a company, and so on, right, and all this stuff. If I knew that this is exactly what you can do, right, you can show this much gameplay, and this company would ever go after you, or this thing, or whatever, right? Yeah, I would have done, honestly, I feel so much better videos, right, over these 10 plus years doing different YouTube channels, right? And also, I used to do video game reviews for magazines and so on, right? Yeah, when I was younger, I was like a video game reviewer, right? I wrote for, published magazines and for sites and so on, right? And the same thing there, right? If when YouTube started or whatever, you would have feel like, oh, I would have spent more time, doing like a good video game review, right? If I knew that the company could never complain about this thing, or do like oh no, this person critiqued our game harshly, so we're gonna, what I mean? If you knew that all that was safe, right, I would feel I would spend more time on it and make it better, so on, right? But I have that constant anxiety of feeling like, nah, I don't want to almost spend that time on this video, because what if it gets removed or whatever, you know what I mean? Yeah, it feels like that. Yeah, it feels like a weird thing where Like I feel like here's a pretty good video. I give a good, you know, my examples, right? My ideas or whatever are good. But sure, it would be a better video if I use the visual content, if I use this thing, if I use the example, if I use a clip here. But I just feel like I'm not gonna bother using a clip because what if the clip gets copyrights or whatever. You know what I mean? It feels like it lowers the video's quality and etc. And also use the effort, generally speaking, right? Because you're always afraid of the company coming after you. So you're always like, that's good enough. That's how I feel a lot of time, honestly. I don't feel I'm lazy or whatever, but I do feel like, sometimes I feel like, okay, whatever. I don't wanna bother, right? And there's especially some anime, especially with some animes and some game companies, especially some animes. I know that these anime studios are very, very harsh, and they completely ignore fair use, right? So on those animes, I don't even bother talking about them. You know what I mean? There are some animes that I don't even review anymore because I know that the companies are crazy. And I think a lot of, especially anime creators right now, I'm talking about, there are a couple of anime companies where you know that studio is cray. I'm not even gonna say the names here now because they're so crazy, but especially a few animes studios, especially then all of their animes, where you basically get a strike just for mentioning it, right? Even if you don't show the anime. And there's one company especially where like all of their animes, they own like 8 to 9 animes, and if you talk about any of their animes, they basically strike you, right? And so they had an anime airing this spring. I did episode 1 review, and it was like 6 or 7 people that got a strike the first day for that video. So I removed my own video, right? Because everyone got like a strike for that video. No, it doesn't matter if they showed the video, if they had clips in it, if they hold images, whatever, right? It doesn't matter. Use the title alone in their video with them a strike, right? So I was just lucky on getting a strike at that spring because it was like basically almost everyone else had a strike, right? And my video had like 10,000 views something too, so my video had a lot of views. So I was like, I need to remove it anyway because it was like 10,000 views. I think the video had almost 9,000 something, and I'm gonna remove it because obviously. Now everyone else is getting a strike. My video is gonna be next, right? Because it's also getting higher in views because no one else. I mean, my video probably had 10,000 views because no one else had a video about the anime because everyone else's videos got striked. You know, my video was the only one left for whatever reason, or maybe actually my video was perfectly fair use. Maybe that company liked my video. You know what I mean? That's why I'm so excited too. Because but honestly, it was surprising because there were a lot of other people that had way fewer views than me. You know, 200 views, 300 views, whatever. Right? I had 10,000 views, my video was still there, their videos all removed, and I was like, maybe they approve my video? But that's why I get excited too, because you're like, they don't seem to remove my video, even though it's the most popular video right now about the anime, right? So I'm sitting there being like, should I keep it? Because they have to have seen my video. My video is the first one when you search for this anime on YouTube, so do they like me? You know what I mean? You wonder that. At the same time, you feel that, I need to remove my own video because they have removed every other video about the topic. It doesn't matter. I'm just gonna remove it, right? So it is all that shit, right? But especially with some Japanese companies. I mean, they're notorious, right? You look at total of markets so on. I mean, they're notorious for this in Japan. But it is very, 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 very high anxiety, right? And I think that general premise of you're in a landmine, as mentioned earlier, I think it's a great example of it because you're in a landmine. And when you're doing like an anime review, you don't know if it is a mine or not. Seriously, because a lot of times when animes start airing, right? If you're like me, and you do seasonal anime reviews, I talk about animes that are coming this season, not just big animes are airing, but like generally this coming next tomorrow, whatever, right? You don't know them. You don't know until it's out. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how hard one company is gonna protect, let's say, Chainsaw Man, that coming next season. I don't know if that anime is gonna get a lot of strikes or maybe none. Right? Take a Titan example. It's a popular anime where I have almost never seen anyone having issue with. Right? So that feels very safe. You know what I mean? It's been out for years. I never seen any other YouTuber really have issue with that anime. So I feel I can confidently do like a review, show an image of Eren. Clearly fair use, and I never seen anyone have issue with that. Right? So that I feel very safe. You know what I mean? And that's obviously probably. What is very popular, right? Because the company has felt that we just get free PR. Why should we stop these reviews? You know what I mean? But then, maybe Chainsaw Man, for example, right, might have the complete opposite. Maybe they might be like, nope, we're gonna remove everyone talks about it. Like with L0, for example. Like last year with L0, they removed L0 was like 4 channels, right? they got a strike for that last year, right? So sometimes the companies just decide to, kind of scorch earth one show, right? And usually you don't know that until then the show is actually out, right? So it's extra landmine feeling when you're doing anime stuff, and sometimes gaming stuff too, right? With Japanese companies. Also not only Japan, but especially Japanese companies. When you have a new game, might be the same thing, that especially games, unfortunately, games based on anime, right? So you have a game based on anime, and they might use the music for an anime, right? They might have an anime scene in the game, and suddenly everyone that like streams that game, right, on YouTube or Twitch or whatever, get a strike. That happens to people too. So and that you don't know it until you actually play the game, basically, right? Until the game is out. So that it's always this freaking feeling of fear of, and at any moment someone's gonna come and backstab you, right? That's how it feels, and it's very, very unfair because you don't know, and also it's very, very unclear why it's happening. Sometimes they allow everything, you know what I mean? Sometimes you can play an anime game, you can stream the whole game, and the company's like, free PR if you don't care. And then the next game, even the same company, and they're like, delete, right? So you're like, what is happening? So, but anyway, that's kind of why you constantly have this high anxiety, right? You constantly have the anxiety, you constantly have the fear of getting a strike or whatever. And also, of course, you have the fear of getting like, another strike. Mostly copyright, but also strikes for you said a mean word, you did this stuff or whatever. Your joke that was clearly sarcasm was taken the wrong or whatever. Yeah, suddenly the cops are here because I joked about something. I don't really do those jokes, but you hear about that stuff too, right? But anyway, guys, hope you guys liked the video. We're talking about some mental health stuff or some anxiety, and unfortunately, it's not like I have a good solution for it, right? Usually, I'm the kind of guy that when I do lectures about this stuff, not this stuff particularly, but a lecture about human behavior, right, and so on. And I have given lecture about anxiety. Usually, I have a solution for it, right? My solution here is maybe talking about it more, right? I am talking about it right here because, as I mentioned earlier, by reflecting over it, I do feel better about it myself, right? But unfortunately, I don't feel you can do very much as a YouTuber or as any other social media person. It's most up to the companies, right? And I guess more people should complain about something. But it is really rough. It is very, very rough, right? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't feel like I am personally gonna do anything different, you know what I mean? It almost was just a random, complete... Today, for me, it was just like a very, very, bad luck it happened. Because if that freeze had happened, let's say, beginning of a stream, I probably wouldn't have been that... afraid or whatever. But now it happened just after I mentioned, like, okay, let's read really weird isekais and use the premise, like what are they about? And I mentioned a few two titles, and I was like, yeah, these are kind of weird names here. And then the froze. It's the perfect timing for that, right? I don't really know what can do better, but I do feel that my own solution for it, right, as I mentioned earlier, and that's kind of what I guess I would say to most of YouTubers, is that you can't just rely on YouTube, right, or TikTok or whatever. Yeah, that honestly I feel is the most correct fix, right? You can't have social media, one platform or whatever, as your only income, right? It doesn't make any sense to me because you never know, and you need to have more, and you probably should have a real job. No, but I think that is still. I mean, imagine, and I say this here as last thing, right? Imagine if I only had YouTube, right? Imagine if I had, let's say I had way more subs, so I had like a 500,000 subs or whatever, right? So let's say I had 500,000 subs and I was making a lot of money on YouTube. Imagine something that I would probably have a panic and die, yeah, because I felt really bad during those few minutes during this stream, right? But again, if I lost this channel, it wouldn't like ruin my life. It would be like, oh, that's boring because I spent a lot of time on the channel. I love talking about this nerd stuff and so on, so it would be a big hit, right, from my, but it wouldn't be an economical hit, right? It wouldn't have mattered in like my, outside it, right? It would be also very emotional, but it wouldn't be like, oh no, I can't pay rent now, you know what I mean? So yeah, I can just imagine being one of those big YouTubers experiencing the same thing. That would be like a heart-crushing thing, because then that I can't pay for my kids' tuition or whatever. Yeah, that would be like, oh my god, right? Yeah, but that's why I kind of mean that you can't rely on it too much. But yeah, I can't imagine that pain because I felt like, oh my god, I just lost the channel. You know what I mean? or I got a strike or something for, yeah, you know, whatever, right? But anyway, that's the video, guys. You know, subscribe, slap it, whatever, right? Leave a comment below what you guys think. Share the video. It is a constant issue, right, on YouTube. There is at this, right? It's a constant issue. It really is. You know, I had a mild panic attack or whatever, right? This is how it is, almost, right? But yeah, I think a lot of people will relate to this thing, or I mean, a lot of YouTubers or similar influencers, whatever you call it, right? Will probably relate to this, because sometimes you get a weird mail, you get that thing, or just like sometimes you can't log in because of some reason, and you're like, oh, what happened to my account? You know, it's always that feeling, right? All the time. Yeah, I mean, it can be other things too. Let's say that I just want to log into my Gmail account, right? And my internet is down, but I don't know it's down. You know, why can't I log in? Am I banned? You know, yes, whatever. Yeah, you know what I mean. All of those issues are like 10 times worse, right? When you have any kind of any kind of content creator on any kind of platform. Anytime something hinges for you, right? You're like, well, what's happening? Yeah, you always get the free. At least I do. And I think a lot of people have the same thing. Maybe I'm just paranoid, but I don't think so. I don't think I'm paranoid. And like I said in the longer stream, you know, I have had really weird strikes, right? I've had a strike with people that didn't show the copyright, you know. So I don't think it's like a paranoia that's unfounded. I think that it's like an accurate paranoia. Like, oh, that might happen. So it's very, very scary. But anyway, please support the channel, right? Share the video, what do you think, and so on, subscribe, and so on. And after now here, then I leave the edited of the, yeah, so if you want to see more here, I'll leave a link below for the extra stream, which is the full stream, then talking about anime and so on. But I also leave an edited version after this now, how it affected during the stream, right? But it's mostly my same thoughts, but I, of course, I had more like a very knee-jerk reflective reaction. Like, oh shit, this is an issue. But I do explain one of the strikes I got a few years ago. That was very, very weird and so on. So check it out if you're interested. And I think you guys have a great day. Several weird isekais, right? About people being reborn as underwear. What? My screen froze something. What? Huh? Sorry. Was it the stream, or did I get cancelled? What? What's happening? What's happening? What? Oh shit, there's something wrong here? Is it my stream? Happening. This is my Chrome though. What? What is happening? It's my internet. What? What? I'm getting nervous. It's just black for me. Okay. Looked to me like it died, but it might just be my Chrome that died. Or something. Yeah, what happened there? Sorry. It just froze me completely, and it looked like my stream was... It looked to me like I got cancelled. I was talking about weird isekais, you know, so I got afraid that I got, like, cancelled or something because of my line. Sorry. I genuinely thought I got... My god, that gave me, like, a heart attack. I genuinely thought that I might have been, like, you know, like, oh, shoot, did the stream get, like, you know, yeah, cancelled because I was mentioning these weird isekais, right? That's why I didn't show them. I got a adrenaline kick, man. That's why I didn't show the isekais, you know what I mean? I didn't want to show them on screen because I was like, okay, let's look at some really, really weird isekais. So I decided to not show it, obviously. And then and then like my Chrome froze, I guess, by accident, you know, like just randomly, right? But it looked to me like my stream was, you know, taken down. Oh my god, like, see, I'm sorry, but that was not me faking it. I get me a heart attack now, yeah. I genuinely believe that I was like, I got like, you know, the stream got frozen, right? Because, yeah, like my Chrome died, and obviously I'm having Chrome there and so on, right? So I was like, did I just kicked off Google or something? And then I opened my Gmail or whatever. I tried to, but it didn't work because it was like Chrome was dying. So I genuinely for a moment I thought that, oh shit, did I just say something bad here? I made a woke joke and then I talked about some weird isekais. Did I just get, did I get deplatformed or something? It just looks so weird. I was like, oh my god, this is everything that. Anyway, okay, I'm back now. That was my adrenaline. So yeah, please press the like button and share the video so on. Because seriously, I say it here, right? It is a lot of anxiety, honestly, unfortunately, right? Doing anime and even video game stuff sometimes with Japanese companies. Because you never know if you get a copyright strike or something similar. That's very, very annoying. And it's one of the reasons why I felt that, you know, I like doing YouTube stuff and so on, but I never felt like I want to have it as a career or whatever. I would never dare to like work with this like full time because I'm always afraid of like getting, you know, you can get a strike or whatever at any time, right? We're talking about anime and gaming and so on. But yeah, I got a copyright strike for this kind of stream like 2 years ago, like exactly this thing. They were like, "Oh, you showed our image, copyright strike." I was like, "Yeah, but like, I'm just talking about the anime." But anyway, I digress. Let's keep going. Sorry, that was just. I mean, I haven't even rewatched it yet, though. But in the middle of the video, right, my computer froze, right? My Chrome died and so on. I'm gonna go and find the scene because I think there could be a worthwhile part of the stream. Seriously, when we had, like, I genuinely thought that I had gotten like a strike or something during the stream at that moment, right? Because Chrome died and I couldn't log into my Gmail account or whatever because, you know, my browser died or whatever, right? And it was just a moment when I had mentioned SUV, Vogue, left. I had used mentioned like political stuff, right? You know, in a jokingly manner, of course. And I'm not even, you know, I'm left, you know, but I'm jokingly talking about that stuff. And then I also said, okay, let's go and read about some isekais that are about underwear, right? Like, here's a pantsu isekai or something. And then when I was reading that about like legendary pantsu isekai, then my computer froze, right? And I couldn't get into any of my Google stuff. So I was like, what did they use? Did they use like cancel me or something? Because I did a joke about Vogue and pantsu or something. It felt like a complete, you know, stars align in a bad manner. I was like, oh my god. It looked so weird. It looked so weird. But honestly, that is a huge problem, right? I really feel, like I said, 2 years ago when I did a stream like this, right? I got a copyright strike, yeah, for doing stuff like this when I'm showing an image, right? Like, it's clearly fair use, right? And I had to, you know, so it is really weird. It's really weird. And unfortunately, because it happens to me, you know, once, right? When you see everything freezing like that, you of course are like, oh, it happened again, right? So you kind of trigger that, like almost like PTSD. You trigger that feeling of, oh, not again, you know, you get that feeling, right? And of course it's very annoying when you do anime stuff, whatever. Especially anime stuff, you have to always look for that and you have to edit it and so on, right? So it's very unfortunate when you're, yeah, but it wasn't a problem. But it was just hilarious. It was just the timing, because just when I mentioned this isekai, that's like I was reborn as a legendary underwear. Used at that moment was my Chrome died, right? Probably completely on accident, right? Whatever, my PC had an issue, whatever, right? Or maybe my internet died on that time, whatever. But it was just a perfect like moment. So I was like, ugh. But seriously, it is so frustrating. Like, I not to excuse myself for whatever, right? But if I can be a YouTuber, right? And if I could be a YouTuber, and I would have known that I would never get, you know, like a copyright strike or whatever, right? You know, for fair use or whatever. I mean, I think it's fair, of course, if you upload a video, you get what I mean. But if I knew that, or if you do like a review or reaction or whatever in this manner, you're safe, you know what I mean? If I knew that, I would do so much more stuff. Honestly, yeah. Like, because I feel it's holding me back, right? To spend more time on not just this channel but my other channels too, because I'm just like, you never know when you get into an issue, right? It's so frustrating, you know, having that feeling that, yeah, sometimes, you know, because, for example, I say it's a last point here, but it's a good example, I think. Once I got a copyright strike for an anime review. I didn't even show the anime, right? I got a copyright strike for not showing the anime. Yeah, I just talked about the anime because I knew this studio, you know, kind of frequently with that, right? You kind of learn what anime studios or whatever are harsher, right? So I didn't even show the anime. They still gave me a strike because I talked about it in the title, you know. So that shows you don't even look at the video, right? The title was like, you know, review of this anime, right? And didn't show the anime. Still got a strike, right? So they are crazy sometimes. But I got YouTube to actually remove it in one day, though. So I wrote to YouTube and they were like, okay, so they actually removed it. So it wasn't that bad, but you know, that's how crazy it can be sometimes, right? Just by talking about it, not even showing it, because for the system itself, right, they can just give you if they want to, right? You know, so obviously the person giving that strike didn't check the video, right? Didn't show any copyright, It was kind of like this behind me, right? You know. So if any copyright was shown, it was my, you know, my posters, right? You know, my Spider-Man, whatever. Right? But not of that anime. Not of that anime. The anime wasn't shown in the video. So that was ridiculous, right? So that unfortunately I feel hold, not just me, but I feel a lot of people hold back, right? Having that feeling that, oh, sometimes you get a strike, even though you didn't even show a copyright. It is so absurd. But anyway, please subscribe, share the video and so on, right? I probably cut the copyright strike out a bit, but I felt that's a good example of it. Which is like, that's unfortunately how you feel, right? Sometimes it just happens, even though it feels, even it's unfair. And usually, end of the day, right? Nothing happens. So you get like a strike for that, not showing the content. You counter appeal it because you're like, I don't even show any content. It's clearly fair use, and then remove it, and nothing happens. But it's just like a stressful, 2 weeks or whatever. So it's very, very unfortunate. And hopefully, gonna have a better system. But that honestly, when you kind of get into that, right? When my YouTube froze there, I mean, my brain immediately is like, oh shit, I got a strike or something. That's immediately how my brain reacts to it. That's what's so unfortunate. So because I'm so used to the system being so broken, being so weirdly broken, immediately when something happens to the stream, I'm just like, oh shit, did that happen now? You know what I mean? Your brain jumps to the worst conclusion ever because it is a lot of anxiety and stress or whatever, generally speaking, right? Being on YouTube, but not just on YouTube, Twitch, everything. I'm not going to say it's only Google's fault, right? I think it's for all of these, TikTok, whatever, right? You know, on TikTok, I did a TikTok video where I showed my Eureach poster, right? So Eureach, of course, best waifu in Bleach, right, by far. I showed my Eureach poster, and this will be a video set by second, but like I said a bit here, I showed my Eureach poster, right, on a TikTok video, right? Because I just bought this new Eureach painting, right? And that video got removed because Eureach was too sexy. Like, she's a dressed woman, you know. Eureach, obviously a very attractive female character, right? But she was fully dressed, right? But of course she started revealing, because it's like the Nagatari poster basically behind me, and it was like, oh, so TikTok was like, oh, that's too hot, it's too, No, TikTok wrote to me that it was like showing of, actions of that stuff, and I was like, what? It's showing that poster. But I think the reason was because it's a big, poster, right? It's massive, right? So I think the reason was because I had the poster in my hand and I was like moving it to show it on the camera, right? In a half-minute video, I was moving it around. So they were like, you're simulating or something. It was really weird. But honestly, so it's not a YouTube issue, right? It's a social media issuing completely, right? There you go. So that was the full clip, guys. What do you guys think? I'd love to hear your comments below, right? If you're a YouTuber especially, what do you feel, right? Or any other, content creator, right? It's been an issue, I think, for years, of course. And it gets to that point sometimes, right, where I just feel like it's beyond it, to drag into quadruple minds and it ended. No, but it is very frustrating. So yeah, that was kind of like my immediate reflection. But like I said, I honestly felt like during the whole stream after it happened, right, I was like having a mild panic attack probably, but I was just like, not showing it. I don't know, you know what I mean? I was like sitting there breathing slowly. It is just what it is. But yeah, it's like a stressful thing, right? Being a YouTuber, seriously, it's now I feel really stressed out afterwards, and so on. So I would love to hear you guys, what you think about it. So, and see you guys, subscribe, please, and share the video. Right? I think this topic needs to be talked about more. Right? Yeah, share the video. I think we need to talk about this more. Right? I think we need to. Not just with Google, but all these companies, right? You need to have a better system for all of this stuff, right? We need to have a better system for, and the companies need to fix it better too, or whatever. I do think we need some kind of global internet laws. So honestly, in the end, though, we can't have the people have different laws, different things, regulations depending on where you live and so on. When everyone is on the global internet, for that matter. There's a much longer video to explain that, though. But I think people mostly agree with me. In the future, we need to have like at least a global internet law. Right? It's really weird that how that actually works, and should we go to court in that thing, and this is bad. All things bad. Well, anyway, I hope you had the video. See you guys and have a great day.